Hey there. So, just want to talk a little bit about Aristotle. Aristotle is a household name. About 2,300 years, 23 centuries after his life, his flourishing, his work. And after all these years, he's still a household name, and you have to wonder why. Why is he a household name? And to really settle on what is most significant about him, he's the father of biology. He wrote the Physics, which was the book of physics all the way up until Copernicus, Galileo, and Newton, about 2,000 years after his passing. His rhetoric is still taught today as a normal textbook, And he really came up with the idea of thinking in terms of a spectrum, of thinking on the one end of the spectrum you have the hot, and the other you have the cold, you have the small and the large. And if you have a cup of tea, you have a hot cup of tea. How does your hot cup of tea go from being hot, a hot thing, to becoming a cold thing? It's kind of mysterious when you think about it, like a baby. Where did the hot thing go? And where did that cold thing come from? His solution is simple and elegant. There is a third thing. We call that substance. So the substance remains, and yet the coldness of it and the hotness of it is an accidental characteristic of it that will come and go. So you can think in terms of a spectrum with all kinds of things in nature, of going from being very small to very large, young and old, hot, as I mentioned, hot and cold, and the spectrums keep on going. So even today we tend to think in terms of spectrums, and for us it seems very simple, very logical, very natural to think in terms of spectrums of change. Going from a cloud of gas out in space to condensing into a planet, condensing further and igniting as a star. So these things are quite simple to us. But if you don't have that concept of a third thing, if you don't have the concept of substance, then you really can't answer the question of where did the cold come from? Okay? So the lesson is oftentimes the problems we have within science, within thought, and this extends obviously to culture, is that we're not able to think through things because we're missing a concept. Okay, and that's the lesson. It's a very simple lesson. It's a very powerful lesson. So people have always asked me, what do philosophers do? And this is one thing we do. One thing we do is to try to think of the missing piece, the concept that's going to make sense of the phenomena. Okay? So I would just put that out there as one simple thing about that Aristotle taught us, and that's why he's a household name to this very day. And I'll give you another example. He is the father of, but I'm going to pause the video here and restart it in a minute.